As I mentioned early in our program, we have Evelyn Muñoz, our guest this morning, that will be tell us about it, the experience of the oldest Guadalupe Church, later visitation after Our Lady of the Americas Church. And the meaning of this message is to let you know amazing experience that we have in our festival, Parish Festival, that we have been doing for how long, Evelyn?
Well, it started back in '72, so.
Oh my Lord, we have certain history about it. So, could you please tell us about it? How was the festival?
Well, the festival came along 25 years after the Guadalupe Chapel opened.
Okay.
And before that, all the members that were there, they would every year make tamales and fundraisers, and they would have it in the basement, and they would invite the people to come and share, and that's how the expenses got paid for the chapel. Then in 1972, in February, some gentlemen came and they thought, it's 25 years, maybe we should do something, because 25 years where, that's a lot of years. So they got together and they got a committee to improve the pews and the roof and everything. Mm-hmm. And at that time, they invited a bishop from Texas. His name was Bishop Flores, and he came that year because they made this big celebration for the 25 years of the parish. And from that day, then, they wanted the whole community, not just Hispanics or Mexicans at that time, to know about the Mexican traditions. And so they came together and decided that they would have a fiesta, and they named that fiesta Jamaica.
The Jamaica.
Yeah. Jamaica. Jamaica probably in Spanish, I don't know. and so that's how it started back in February of 1972. Bishop Flores came, and that kind of opened the festivals, and the first festival was held July 29th of 1972, and at that time, that's when they opened up the fiesta, and they came out into the street of Scott Avenue there, where the parish chapel is. Uh-huh. And so since then, there's been a fiesta every year, and until the chapel closed, of course. And
I think it's very good to illustrate our audience that the word Jamaica came from flower tea. It's an iced tea made from a flower called Jamaica, originally from Mexico. So we adopted this name to identify the festival in the past, right?
Yes,
okay.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Based on that experience, what is the meaning of this festival currently?
Well, now we have just Our Lady of the Americas, of course, and so it's always been a fiesta to raise money for the expenses of our parish. There's a lot of expenses that go with that, and it's just grown so much, and it's so beautiful now. They have the dancers, and we have so many different countries, Hispanic countries. Now, it's not, back then it was just the Mexicans from Mexico, and now we have people coming in from South America and Central America. So it's a little different. It's wonderful because each country seems to have their own foods, different foods, and so we can go and taste the different foods there, and they all have their own different traditions and cultures. So it's really very interesting on my part, and it's welcoming the whole city of Des Moines to come, because we have Hispanic masses throughout the city now, where before it was just at Lady of Our America. Uh-huh. And so the bishop found that, it was necessary to open masses at the other parishes. So we have at Christ the King and St. Anthony's, St. John's, and St. Ambrose doesn't have one, and Sacred Heart.
Sacred Heart.
And so we invite all of those parishes to come to Our Lady of the America once a year to celebrate all of the Hispanic cultures that are in Des Moines now. So it's a very nice festival.
So it's another encounter with Jesus with the face of the migrants.
Yes, very
in
nice.
a different expression of culture, food, and tradition as well.
Yes.
What is the meaning for you as one of the beginners about this process of the Jamaicas?
Well, it's kind of hard to say because I've always been proud that I'm a Mexican, and I'm sure these other families that have come in are proud of their own cultures also. And just to see the mingling of all of us together, you know, it's really very impressive. And I just can thank the Lord for sending all these beautiful people to come and build up this, not only the Hispanics here in Our Lady of the Americas, but throughout the whole city of Des Moines and Iowa. I'm sure that this Lord has sent all these people. It wasn't an accident. I think that He has a plan for us.
Absolutely. When you mention that He has a plan for us, it's also that we are called to growing together as a community. Independent, my country, we are in a falling line, may I say that with all respect to America, but also we need to make welcome, not only for certain people, for everybody. And also it's an open for our Anglo community as well, to enjoy different flavors, colors, traditions, and also to encounter different faces of our Lord Jesus Christ that help us to understand what is the meaning to be a Catholic, you know, universal church. And that is the key word to using through these kind of festivals as well, especially in these turmoil times where we did not find not a really welcoming attitude from different positions. But right now, for Jesus, everybody has a land to be, no?
Yes.
Based on that, so all of the people around the city are welcome to the festival in Our Lady of the Americas.
Oh, very much so, yes.
Good. That is important to extend an invitation, subliminal invitation for the people as well. So, do you remember the priests that have been working in this past time about the festival?
There are a lot of priests. The first one, of course, Father Hansen at the beginning, and then when I came in, it was Monsignor Conley, and then of course we have Father Polish. He was very involved down in the chapel at that time. They were all we had associate priests then.
Okay.
And so all the associate priests helped. But Father Jim Polish was one that was at this time very involved with the people there. And it was a small community. It wasn't just Mexicans. It was the people from that area that, you know, were Catholics, and it was so far to go to visitation that, you know, so it was all very, very bilingual. Well, it wasn't bilingual, but they came and it was all in English. We didn't have bilinguals at that time. But after this, when the bishop came, then that was the time that they decided maybe they would do a little English and Spanish for anyone. But, you know, Father, I think people don't realize that when our parents came, they spoke Spanish. But as the children go to school, they all learn English, you know, so the same thing is going to happen with this generation of people that are coming in. You know, the parents are speaking Spanish, which is very well, but the children will learn English. And I keep telling my religious ed children, keep both your Spanish and your English, because that's very important. When we were growing up, it was just all English. We didn't have any one telling us, you know, that you should speak Spanish. And in fact, when you go to school, they wouldn't let you speak Spanish. So it's very different this time. The children will speak English, and their children and grandchildren will all speak English. But my own family, we have, you know, the children intermingle. They marry. I have a German, and Irish, and, you know, different nationalities. And of course, they all speak English. But that was the sad time. At our time, we didn't teach them to speak Spanish. Our parents just encouraged us at that time to speak English. So, you know, I myself don't speak Spanish. I can understand and I can make myself understood if it's an emergency. But none of my children speak Spanish. My grandchildren don't speak Spanish. But this generation of children that are coming, I hope they keep their both English and Spanish. I think that's important, to go to another country and be able to speak whatever nationality you're going to.
And this is a very crucial message to our audience. We cannot forget our history.
That's right.
We cannot forget our background. And especially for those migrants that have been left a lot of traditions and food as well. And this kind of festival help us to remind where are our origins.
Yes.
Where we came, you know? The necessity to understand that the culture is part of our life. It's not this multiple explanation and interpretation about the culture. This is the essence of where we come from.
And I think that's why the Jamaica came to be, because the Mexicans were kind of all separated in West Des Moines and Des Moines, and it was just a way to show the Anglos or the community, you know, that we have traditions. And so this was a time to show that traditions to the people in Des Moines.
And certainly one of the big preoccupations for the current parents, it's about how easily the new generation lost the Spanish, you know?
Yes.
And more English. And that is okay, because obviously the country required to be an affluent English speaker, but at the same time, we have a history and we have a background, no?
Yes.
And I remember one expression from Bishop Pate that said, look at the skin. A little bit brown, you know? So that also it's the different colors that are part of the human being and the humankind as well.
Yes, very much so.
Very good.